What's up out there? David Cravens and my beautiful wife,
Jonna Cravens.
the Relentless Hope podcast. We got a special guest. Not only is he just an awesome guy that we hold him dear. You never think that you'd meet somebody we were just on, and the short time that we have and got us close, and just an awesome guy. Relentless Hope podcast owes a lot to him too. Just him opening up doors and giving us a platform to get in here and do a professional podcast. But on top of that, we got Tim Guerrette. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing good. It's an honor to sit on your podcast. It's blowing up.
Yeah.
This thing is blowing up. I mean, you guys are great. I will tell you, like, when I'm sitting there late at night, usually I go through YouTube and I like sit there and listen to you guys. It's funny. It's great.
Yeah.
And you're real.
That's what it's all
So
about.
real.
You're real people.
So we're counting the days down to the election, man. What are we at here?
Yeah, so we got 12 days before the election. Now, when you hear this on the podcast, it's probably going to be less than that.
Yeah.
Right? So it's game time, you know, and as you all know, when it gets close to game time, you know, the nerves get a little bit fired up, but I like that.
Yeah.
I thrive on game time.
Well, you're a hard worker and a guy that makes things done under the chaos. You know what I mean? That's
Makes it happen.
coming back from your history of being a veteran. You know what I mean? You're in the armed forces. There could be some stressful times coming down to the
Absolutely.
wire. Law enforcement. I mean, we had talked off camera. You've been through some car chases, I'm sure, crazy things. Came right down to the wire. You had to make some decisions to make the change, right? And that's why you're the man for the job.
Yeah, you know, I thrive on it.
Right.
When you have an opportunity to help your community, to be out in the community, to, you know, bring success to the community, I thrive on that opportunity. And you know what I really like about it is the group of people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
We all have that same mission.
Yes.
We all have that same drive.
Yeah.
And some, I will tell you, some of the people that I work with have more drive than I do.
Right.
But they drive me to make sure that I get out there and do everything. And we're trying to, you know, really get the message out. Like, hey, listen, you know, the signs, they don't vote for me. The commercials don't vote for me. The Facebook posts don't vote for me. So what I'm doing is I really want our local citizens, people in the community that maybe would not normally vote in a primary because it's not really all that exciting,
Right.
to get up and get their family to go out and vote for me.
Right.
I'm a veteran. I want fellow veterans to understand we want to be a team and go together. Get your family, get your friends, get out to vote for me.
Yeah.
Public safety, law enforcement, firefighters. I'm endorsed by the 2 local paramedics and firefighter unions here in town. Get your family that would not normally get up and go vote to go do it, because really that's a ground game, right?
Yeah.
That's how it's going to happen.
That's where it
It's a
starts.
game changer.
Yeah.
And people don't say something you said before when we sat and talked, and is people don't realize on these local elections how slim it comes down to, right? It's not necessarily like the presidential election or the governor. It sometimes comes down to a slim margin of people that need to get out there and vote. And they need to realize to see change in their local community, they need to get out there and vote.
Yeah, that's very important. And the interesting thing about this is we have, in this race, it's a primary, so it's a Republican primary.
Right.
So we have like a pie that's divided by 3.
Right.
Right.
So there's each candidate's going to get a piece of that pie.
Right.
And people need to understand that pie has to be won right now. There's not like 2 that go forward.
No.
It's winner take all to go to November 5th.
Right.
When there's a write-in.
Right.
So it's really all or nothing right here. So I just really am in reaching out to the people that know me in the community.
Right.
And I get a lot of this, you know, people say, hey, listen, Tim, you know, we see you everywhere. You're going to win this thing. You got this. And I tell them, like, listen, I'm optimistic that I'm going to do very well.
Right.
But I need you.
Yeah.
And I need your family. And I need your
friends.
Your friends and your kids that are legal to vote. And anybody that you know that's registered as a Republican, because you have to be registered Republican in this primary to get me there. And a lot of people don't really understand. It's almost like a playoff game, right? So, and people are like, well, you know, I'm independent or non-party affiliation. I'm a Democrat. I can't vote for you. But really how it's set up is for the Republican Party's favorite to go forward to November.
Right.
So we need you.
Yeah.
And you need to pick the best person that you pick.
Right.
And I say that with confidence that I'm going to be there. But listen, no matter who you're going to vote for, get out and vote.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's the key.
Yeah.
Because
it's your right.
It's your right, and it's your opportunity to voice yourself. Because I think the old saying goes, right? If you can't sit there and bitch about how things are going if you didn't get out there and put your name in.
Yep.
You really don't have a reason to say anything, right? I think that's so important because so many people want to voice that. They want to voice that it's not going to do anything, or they're unhappy about this, or they're unhappy about that. Well, we're the ones who can change it. So if you don't get out there and change it, you really shouldn't be saying anything.
And spending some time around you and seeing you, I'm a guy who work ethic means a lot. Okay, man, I ain't ever had a lot of things in life or doing whatever, but I always had a good work ethic, even in my bad days, right? You know what I mean? And seeing you put the work in, or when we talk or we were trying to set up time, like you're on the go, man. Like you're the only other guy that answers the phone at 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
I do.
Like me, right? You know what I mean? Like we're talking. We know we better talk at 4:30 because once we get out the door, it's over with, right? You know, and so I believe with my whole heart, man. And when I say this, I believe it, that everything that you say you're going to do, everything why you want to be the nominee to go on, is because you're going to put in the hard work and do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think people understand. Again, I've said this before. If you say politics, they're going to know who the governor is. They're going to know who the president. They don't realize how important it is to have a man of integrity. People can say whatever they want, right? I can say, it shows where you were at for the last 30 some odd years. It shows where you served your country. It shows the track record. You know what I mean? Right. I mean, Collier County is one of the safest best places to live in the United States, in the world, whatever. So I believe that you're the man that they need to get out there and vote for so we can see change locally.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that people say, like, what election office experience do you have? I go, listen, I have been involved in leadership since I was 23 years old at a very high level.
Right.
Some in the military, a lot at the sheriff's office. When I worked in every place that I worked in the sheriff's office, I was usually brought in to like get things squared away and organized. Not that they were always in bad shape,
right?
But I will tell you that leadership management is about bringing people together to achieve a common goal.
Right.
And what I want to do is I really think that we can take the Supervisor of Elections office to the next level.
Right.
We can be the best in the state. And I need that opportunity to show people, hey, listen, we can do so much more. I hear so many people that call down there and ask for a meeting and request numbers and pull some data for them, and they always run it into a wall. Yeah. That's not going to be me.
Right.
You can call me. I don't care if you call me at 4:30 in the morning.
Right.
If I'm there, I'm going to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And you're not going to outwork me.
Right.
I can tell you that right now because
I know that.
And I think you'll probably understand this. In your job, what you do, you work really hard. But I can honestly tell you that if you do something you really love and you have passion for, it's not work. No. Or if you can shift something that you don't necessarily love to do, like moving furniture or moving things, but if you put the passion in and you think about it making you happy and what the outcome can be and your attitude about doing it, and it's positive, that's really impressive to me.
Really,
I guess is that what I'm saying.
That's where the change comes in. And I believe that if I can tell anybody, again, my wife will tell you, people will tell me, I never had voted until the last election. But what that did was, and which I had told you too, before, some things that happened, water leaks and stuff, made me really start paying attention to my local officials.
Mm-hmm.
Who does this and who does that, right? And I'm a big person that's into self-teaching. And when I say that, I mean, it's 2024. You know what I mean? You can Google something on YouTube and find it out. Or by golly, you want to learn about marriage? There's about 30 books on it right now, right? You can get them, order them. So I started paying attention to the local stuff and how important it is. So if I can tell you guys, if you want to see change and you want to do it, you got to get out there and vote. Yeah. It's that serious. You know what I mean? People ask me, why are you so passionate? I said, I'm passionate about it, not because I'm a political dude, but I'm passionate because I love my communities. You know what I mean? I love where I work at. It's important to me. And I believe when I say it, that Tim is going to do what he says he's going to do. So you need to get out there and vote and tell your friends, tell your people at work, tell your
Family.
daughters and sons, we need to go do this to make a change for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things I just want to mention too is most people, I would say in Collier County, they go vote. It's for the most part, it's a acceptable experience.
Right.
They have a place to park. They go in, they vote, they leave. Everything seems great,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I have never been in a position where I accept norm.
Right.
I always want to make it an experience, an improvement. And when somebody comes to me and says, hey, listen, we need to improve on something,
Right.
I'm all ears. How are we
Right.
going to do that? I
Right.
want to bring the community in, the public in, and say, how can we make things better?
Get their
How
input.
how can we build confidence
Right.
in our election process?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think that's one thing right now is we lack.
We lack.
And no
absolutely.
matter how good we all think we're doing it, there's always an improvement.
Better way.
Yep.
And I think even if it's great, we need to communicate that to our community to
Mhm.
let them know how great we're doing.
Right.
Right.
I think you'll agree, Sheriff Marcino up in Lee County, right?
Not in Lee County.
Not in Lee County. I would say Sheriff Rambosk here.
Yeah.
Get the information about and brag a little bit about
Yeah.
how good you're doing
Yeah.
and educate your community on how we can all work together
Yeah.
to
That's
make
right.
it better. I want to do that in our
Right.
elections office.
And I believe you're going to. And like I said, I'm probably, a little biased because you're my boy, but and I hold you close as a mentor, look up to you. Never would you think that I would be sitting across the table trying to endorse a police
I look
officer.
up to you.
Right. But
Yeah.
never did you think I'd be the guy that, Sheriff Marciano, I love what he's doing. Drop it like it's hot, man. He's taking fentanyl and drugs off the street, right? You know what I mean? And doing so. I believe that we've got to have men of integrity. You know what I mean? We've got to have men who've shown the track record, right? Not somebody. I think now, like you said, we have a time where there's no faith in politics. There's no faith in the system.
No,
I mean,
absolutely.
there's
There's
faith
no
in it.
doubt.
Just another person promising you something that he's going to do this and he didn't do this. But I challenge people to say, Tim Guerrette might have already done some stuff,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I mean, the track
Yes.
record
Absolutely.
shows, right?
Absolutely.
Shows ethnics.
Yeah,
It shows,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So we need everybody to get out there and vote because we need the man on the job. And that's you, man.
And no, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. The one concern I have, not one concern, one of my major concerns, and I've had this conversation with people, and I've knocked on doors. I've probably knocked on a lot, hundreds, if not
I know I
thousands of
talked to you, I
doors.
don't know if it was Saturday or Sunday.
And there's always more doors we can knock on and more people we can talk to. And I love doing that. But one thing is I've knocked on doors where people said, no, I don't want your flyer because I don't vote. I don't
Right.
trust it. I don't want anything
Wow.
to do with it.
Mhm.
That right there hits me.
That tells you.
It hits me to the core.
It makes you sad.
Yeah. So what can and I
Yeah,
want to
that's
sit there and say, and these people really don't want to hear it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I want to sit there and say, what can I do to make that change in your heart and your spirit?
Right.
Because
so you can trust the process.
yeah, so why don't you come down to my office? We grab a cup of coffee. I'll walk you around and show you how the system works.
Mm.
And if you can find a way that we can improve that for other people
Right.
to have them have that experience, let's do that too. Because I really think it's important that people have a confidence and trust. And I don't want to set it up to be like, a doctor's office where you need to go through all these different hoops and, come on in.
Right.
Right.
Let's sit
Yeah.
down and I'm going to show you how this works.
Well,
Right.
that's what makes you different, though, Tim. That's what makes you different. That's what should give people confidence in voting for you, that you are the man for the job, that you are different. That's a very real aspect of it.
Well, and I like people, and nobody. I have patience and time for people. I try to.
Yeah.
Right.
And what really gets me more fired up is people that don't trust the system. And if I can show them
Change it.
and change them, that's a challenge to me, right?
Right.
Like yesterday, I was out at Ave Maria, and there was an event, and my opponents and people were there, and I had to walk through them, and I went up and I shook everybody's hand.
Of course you did.
Because you know why? Because I know who I am.
Yeah.
I'm not insecure. I'm running
Right.
for a position of service.
Mhm.
And I think we discussed, I could retire, go to the beach and hang out,
You don't have to do this.
but that's not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing it because you want to see a change. You're not doing this because you have to and you need the position. And you, I mean, I don't want to say you need the money. I mean,
it's not a financial issue for me.
It's not a thing.
Yeah.
You could, like you said, you could go. You've served, buddy. You've done work. You put in more than most people have already, right?
Well, it's not another notch on the belt for you.
Yeah.
This is something
really,
you really want.
It's something you believe in
and be a part of.
Yeah, and I think we can make the community. It's such a the supervisor of elections is kind of like it's kind of like the hub
right.
of the wheel,
Right.
Yeah.
and everything else is like a spoke. So
Right.
we all agree, I think, that everything in our county starts with a vote. Where your church is located, where your grocery store is
Kids go to
located,
school, whatever.
where your kids' school,
Bus
all
routes.
that starts with with the hub. And then what you want to do is you want to get those spokes out there, and you want to strengthen those spokes so that wheel never collapses.
Yes.
So as a supervisor of elections, that's what I really think I can do, because I have a good network. I have the ability to bring people together. And I think with that ability and information and education, the trust will come and the confidence will come.
It's so true what you just said about being the hub, man. It's funny, like, and this is why it's crazy. Again, like, people are like, man, why are you so serious? I'm like, man, where your kid's school bus stop is, how they zone this. What, that don't matter till it matters. You know when it mattered to me, when I realized some stuff, when Hurricane Ian hit.
Yeah.
Because my whole was like, whoa, who's going to handle the bus stuff? Who handles this? What are we going to, like, it all starts
The
there.
garbage, the bus.
Yeah. All your day-to-day life.
Your permits.
The stuff.
Yeah.
Who puts the roof on?
The stuff that really affects you in your day-to-day life. This is something that we talked off camera. You said, oh, this is not, an exciting election. But it's so important, because you know what? I don't wake up and come outside and go, what the heck? I'm like, where's the trash man at? Where's my kid going to get on? That's real life stuff that I deal with daily, more than I do when I'm watching national stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, yeah. So making that hub strength when something life shaking happens, what better than to have a strong will?
Absolutely.
Then your wheel just fall off and your lug nuts break off, right?
Absolutely.
And so what you're saying is, if you guys are on the fence, like, why do they keep talking about this? Look, you need to have somebody that's in there making sure that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted all the way down from the beginning. And that's why they need you in there, to take it to the next level. You knowing you like to do everything in greatness, right? I mean, I just know that about you.
Yeah, I don't really like to do anything.
Okay, not greatness, but you
yeah.
like to go to you don't have to. You like to go to the next level.
Yeah.
You by golly, if there's 10 signs, you're putting 20 in.
Yeah,
Okay?
exactly.
It's just in your DNA,
Yeah.
right? That's how it is. And I remember you saying something like, you want to have, the office where people come to say, whoa, like you were saying about PowerPoints before, about when you would teach. People would say, oh, man, can I get your PowerPoints when you teach in law enforcement? I believe when you get in there, you're going to have the office where people go, I got to see what Guerrette's doing down there.
Absolutely.
In Florida. Hey, you guys, Tim's going to come up here and teach, the other places in Florida, because Collier County, what they're doing down there at the Supervisor of Election office is how it's supposed to go, and they're going on. That's what I believe that you're bringing to it.
Yeah.
Political doesn't matter, man. You can show leadership. I know when we were shooting a music video, it was getting a little crazy. I seen you take leadership, and it was funny. I was talking to myself, because you're like, okay, we're going to have them come over here. That's leadership qualities, man. That's to have, hey, we need to get this done. You know what I mean? So I believe that when you get in there, your office, Collier County Supervisor of Elections office, is going to be the model office.
Absolutely.
That's
the goal.
And I believe that.
Yeah, and you
with
know
all my
why?
heart.
Because Tim's accessible, which makes him very different than a lot of other candidates.
Well, yeah, people. The thing is, people say a lot of stuff until it happens. You know what I mean? That's the back thing. You're out knocking on doors, and when people tell you, "Oh, I don't vote, or I don't do this," you're like, it takes the wind out of your sails.
Yeah, it impacts
man.
me
Yeah,
personally.
you're like,
I'm like,
whoa, why?
how can I fix that?
Are we really in that much trouble that people don't? And we are.
Yeah.
We need a change.
Yeah.
We need a change in our country. But what can we change starting? You know what I can change? What happens in my house and what happens in my community. Those are the two things that I can change immediately. Not, well, I'm going to do it immediately, right? And that you want to change it immediately, go out and vote. What about early voting? Explain about early voting.
Yeah, a little bit about early voting. We did vote by mail. Those ballots went out on July 11th.
Right.
Early voting starts Saturday, which is August 10th through the 17th, and it's Sunday as well. Because a lot of people are like, well, I don't go. It's one solid week,
Right.
and it starts from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
The good thing about early voting is, number one, it's in person, so that makes people feel pretty comfortable that their vote's going to count. And you can go to any precinct, any early voting location. Now, there's only 11 of them, but they're all throughout Collier County, which makes it great.
And we'll have those listed in the description below. In the
Yes,
link.
absolutely. And get there early vote. It's usually very easy. The process is very easy. And I will say you might have to go through a little bit of a gauntlet. People trying to, last minute. I'm going to have folks out there with my information because, some people walk up and they're like, I don't have a clue. Yeah. And you could make a difference right there. Okay. So that's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this, that as you know, we don't know what the weather's going to be like on August 20th.
Yeah, we never know.
We don't know if the power's going to be down. We don't know what,
Anything can happen.
So let's get your vote in, get it locked in. And I think that's very important. Now, vote by mail ballots, those are still coming in. Early voting, August 10th through 17th. And day of voting, which is August 20th, is Tuesday. And that goes from 7 a.m. to 7 p.
7 a.m.
So it's a long day. And thank you for all the people that work out in the precincts. There's 67 of them throughout the county. That day, you have to go to your assigned precinct. You can't go over to somebody else's precinct because they have basically the ballots and the ballot styles all set up and everything. Right. So you go through there. You bring your ID with you. Bring what you need. So when you go through, we make that process fairly easy for you. Yeah.
So quick recap. Early voting, you can go to wherever.
11 precincts.
Yeah, 11 that are good that's in here. So if there's one closer to your job, and you want to shoot there,
and that starts this Saturday.
That starts this Saturday.
10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
For 7 days.
For 7 days.
Sunday too, and
all 7 days. And then the main voting day, the 20th, August 20th, is 7 to 7.
7 to 7.
And you have to go to your precinct, the one that's on your card.
Correct.
Or
whatever precinct number you are.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's very important to get out there. And it only takes a second.
Yeah.
Right.
Early voting. And I will tell you, in the primary, we will always want to get our numbers up, but the primary, for the most part, is a lot less.
Right.
A lot less people vote in the primary, which we're going to try to work on changing that.
Right.
And it's very seamless, harmless. It's a nice and listen. When you get that I voted sticker, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to brag about that thing for days. I'm like, I voted.
had pictures of mine.
Civic duty, right? Civic duty.
Yeah,
you get there and vote because that's your voice.
That's right.
So get out there and listen, folks. I need you to get out and vote for me.
That's right.
And a lot of other great candidates throughout the county running for other positions. So make the difference.
Grab the list and read it. I mean, again, it's 2024. People are like, I don't know nothing about it. I'm like, Google it, buddy.
Yeah,
all you got to do is say, hey, who's running? Or, hey, what's this person? Yeah. Like, you need to know who your local people are, man. I can't stress that enough. Again, it helped me in certain times, you know what I mean? Of finding out and saying, oh, this is the man for the job, or this guy didn't answer my email, or didn't you know what I mean? Like, so going forward.
Yeah, another thing, too, is you might go to the precinct and the person that you see on the advertisement is not there.
Right.
I know in our congressional district, it's split. Like, I do not have Byron Donalds as my congressman because there's a cutoff. It's not set up by county. It's depending. I have Mario Diaz-Balart.
Right.
So when I go, I'm not going to have both of those on there. You're going to have, it's right down to the street, where your location is. So so it's so when you look at somebody else's ballot and you say, who are you voting for? There might be minor changes. Now, I'm a county-wide.
Right.
So I'm a supervisor of elections position, county-wide. Commissioners will be there in their particular district. Yeah. And then we have property appraiser. We have up right now property appraiser, and we have clerk of courts is done. That's it for property appraiser and supervisor of elections. And everybody else has already been determined. You have your clerk of courts. Trying to think what else we got. Clerk of courts. We have sheriff, which has already been done, and then you have your tax collector. Those have already been determined. So there's 5 constitutional officers in each county.
And we will be in the House on the 20th.
Yeah, we need you guys. We need you guys. Run around, do some rapping.
Yeah, we're gonna rock it out, bro. It's gonna be a thing.
Yeah, we're gonna have I want to invite everybody that wants to come.
Yeah.
Love to have you there at Cosmos Pizzeria on August 20th. We're gonna start up about probably around 5:30, but realistically 6:30.
Right.
Numbers should be coming in. The precincts close at 7. I'll be right around there. Just listen, get out, please.
Get out and do it.
Please.
We need you. Tim needs you.
Tim is the man for the job.
Don't slack on the job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get out and do it. He's the man. We stand behind him 100%. Again, I talked to him personally, not just about elections. Obviously, I mean, I look up to him or ask him a question or hey, or whatever. He's got a heart of gold and he's as real as they come. You know what I'm saying? So he needs you. Collier County needs him.
Yep.
So let's get out there and vote. What do you got to say, beautiful?
Tim
You're a little
Durrett.
hotter. Tell them to get out there and vote. They might like you a
Vote
little
for
bit.
Tim.
That's right.
She got you beat on the hotness.
She's
Yeah.
definitely losing in this deal. But I'm funny. No, I'm just kidding. But really,
Tim
man,
Durrett.
vote Tim Guerrette. Go check out the song. Vote Tim Guerette. It was fun making it.
I think we're up to like 8,000 views or something like that.
I'm not to get weird, but sometimes they can suppress stuff. You know,
They
the
have
algorithms are weird. Like if you don't type this certain thing or if it's political, they make things weird, man. You know what I mean? And you know, I was a little irritated at first.
Great video.
It's such a, and everybody who
The
hears it,
lyrics are like spot on.
it's a catchy
Everybody
song,
in
man.
it
You know
is
what I'm
so
saying?
good.
You know, other people might try to duplicate, but we ain't intimidated. You know what I mean? We like to do our thing. You know what I mean? We're out there doing our songs, but we love you,
Vote for
Tim. We
Tim.
believe in you.
Thank you.
And the next podcast, when we got Tim back on, we're going to be talking about how he won and what goes on. But we need you to get out there if you want to vote early or on the 20th.
Be
Do
the
your
change.
civic duty and exercise your right, and that's to vote. The greatest country in the world, and that's what it's built on. So get out there and do it.
Sure.
Vote Tim Guerette.
Make a difference.
Make a difference.